Hi, my name is Cam Smith with U Sports Production reporting from Centennial Park in Langford, BC. Thank you for tuning in. This year's U19 Women's Canadian Fast Pitch Championship started 5 days ago at Centennial Park in Langford, with 16 teams competing for a national championship to an exciting slate of round-robin games. The level of talent this year's tournament provided was impressive as teams put it all on the line through a grueling playoff schedule, with 2 teams earning the opportunity to compete in this year's championship. The BC White Rock Renegades finished with a 7-2 record heading into the finals, and the host team Langford Lightning finished with an impressive 6-1 mark. Flamethrower Ruby Anderson would get the nod for the Langford Lightning. White Rock would counter with Mather. The stage is set. This is what dreams are made of, and it's time for these young players to shine in front of an impressive crowd full of community support for the hometown Lightning. This is the U19 Women's Canadian Fastball Championship. Play ball! And Ruby Anderson, there's no other place she'd like to be than right here in a national final. And she is facing McMillan, the leadoff hitter for White Rock. And Anderson is going to deliver, and right up the middle. Oh, that's right off her glove in her hand. And that goes in for a single, but we might have trouble here, folks. Let's take a look at this again. This just gets ripped right back, and Anderson just with her hand up and her glove, and she takes it right off her finger. That is a scare for these Lightning, but this is one tough customer. She is not coming out of this ballgame. And runner at first, and Anderson is facing Patrick, and Anderson with the delivery, and Patrick puts down a pop-up bunt, but it just finds its own way in, and we got runners at first and second. Early on in this ballgame. Then Bethune steps up to the plate, runners at first and second, trying to cash in some runner early in this ballgame, and she just swings and a miss. That's a high heater right there by Anderson for the first out of the inning. Then Barkley is going to come up to the plate, and once again looking to cash in some runner. This is a 2-2 count, and Anderson with the high heat again, climbing the ladder for the second out of this inning. And with 2 outs, Ben at bat, and trying to cash in these runs, and Anderson is going to fire this ball in, and Ben is going to drive it out to left field, but right there is Pepin with a nice catch to retire the side. After a scurry scare, these Lightning come away unscathed at top of the first. Now top of the second, 0-0, and that's Donahue at the plate, and Anderson is going to deliver the ball, and she is going to just slap this one out, and she is going to get a base hit. It will drop in, little Texas figure right there. And runner at first base, and Donahue at first, and look out for this. Donahue is going to try and steal it. She gets down, and she is just there, just missed. Runner at second, nobody out, and Sergei would pop one out in foul territory to Lehman, and then stepping out to plate is Macaulay, 1 out in the inning, and Macaulay is looking to drive this ball. And on a 1-1 count, she's going to drive this ball. It's right to Peyton Bright, and she tags out the runner as well for the double play. These Lightning, they're getting out of a jam early on, and that is a great play by Bryden. Bottom of the second, Anderson at the plate, and that is Mather. She's going to hit the pitch go, and this is driven to the opposite field, and it's going to drop, and it gets right past the right fielder, and into second, stand up is Anderson. And then McKenna Ani next at bat for Langford, and she is going to look to do something with this ball, and do something she does. She sends this out into right field. It just pops right in, and to third goes Anderson. Ani advances the runner and safe at first. Runners at the corner, St. Amand up the plate, and Mather will look to take care of business here, but no, she ends up walking St. Amand, and the bases are loaded. Up Lehman, and Lehman facing Mather. It is a 2-1 pitch, and Lehman is going to hit a seeing eye dog right up the middle, and that'll score the first run for the Lightning as Anderson is in to score, and bases are still loaded, nobody out. And Jorgensen at the plate. Jorgensen looking for her pitch. And she is going to find one. She's going to drive this sharply. It goes right to shortstop Ben. She knocks it down. That is a tough play. And safe is Jorgensen at first. Nani's going to score. That's 2-0. Langford Lightning. Then Chloe would come in and pitch for Mather. And she would face a tough customer with the bases loaded in Gillis. And Gillis is going to drive this right back to Chloe. And heads-up play. She's going to take a fielder's choice right to home plate for the first out of the inning. And runners would advance, second and third on a legal pitch. Then Rainen, she would walk, 3-0, bases loaded. And this is going to bring up Peyton Bryden coming off of 2 home runs the game before. And she just rips into this one. This is going deep, deep. It is gone, long gone. Put 4 on the board. That is a grand slam home run for this young woman. She does it again, and she is having some tournament, and the crowd loves every minute of it. It's 7-0 in the second inning, and steps up to the plate is Fortier, and she wants to get in the action and drives one nicely right up the middle for a single, keeping this rally going in this championship game. And then Anderson comes up to the plate, and she is going to look to keep this rally going. And she just gets under this ball, and that is a pop-up, and that is caught by McMillan for the second out of the inning. And then Ani would walk, and on the wild pitch, here goes Fortier. He's going to go all the way to third base. We got runners on the corner again, and it keeps going here for these Lightning, as they're looking pretty happy in the dugout, having a whole bit of fun. Who wouldn't with 7-0 lead in the second? Lightning have batted around and some, and then St. Amand drives one right up the middle, and in the score is Fortier. On the second is Ani, and in it at first is St. Amand with another run batted in. Now 8-0 for the Langford Lightning, and stepping up to the plate is Lehman and Clow looking to stop things right here with a low, nice pitch, and a swing and a miss by Lehman, but not before these Lightning put up 8 unanswered runs. In the end, by a big grand slam by Bryden. Top of the third, White Rock is threatening with the bases loaded, nobody out. Anderson is facing Anderson. This is a showdown right here. And Anderson just puts the ball up in the air, and that is St. Amand, and she is going home, and this is going to be a close one. She is safe at home. Runner in second and third, and that run is in on that sac fly. 8-1, runners at second and third. That is Barkley at the plate. And it is a 2-2 count. And here comes Anderson with a beautiful ball, paints the corner. And that is a nice one for the strikeout. And runners in scoring position, 2 outs. And that has been at the plate. And she just line drives this right over to Gillis. That takes care. 2 runners left on again. And these Lightning, they're living on the edge, but they're doing a job. 8-1. Bottom of the third, Jorgensen would walk, and that brings up Gillis to the plate. And Gillis is going to take this ball and just slap at it, and it goes right to the first baseman, Anderson, and doubles up Jorgensen for the double play. And then Rainen steps up to the bat. She is having a great tournament, both defensively and at the bat. And she is going to take this pitch and just drive it right out into right center. And I'll tell you what, she's over to second, lickety split. Still 2 out, runner on second, and that brings up Peyton Bryden. But they're going to intentionally walk her, and rightfully so. She is pounding the ball. So Fortier is going to try and cash in the runner at second. And she is going to hit, and it's a comebacker right to Chloe, and Chloe to first base. That's for the third out of the inning. Still 8-1 for these Langford Lightning. And we move to the top of the fifth, and that is Anderson still in the ball game for these Langford Lightning. And McMillan steps up to the plate. She's looking to get things started here because they're running out of time. And she is going to hit this ball sharply right to Rainen. And over to first base is Lehman, and that's for the first out of the inning. And then Patrick looking to get things going here for White Rock in this fifth inning. And Anderson is looking to put the ball in, and that is just slapped out. It just gets by Rainen and out but to St. Amand, and that's held for a single. And now Bethune up the bat, and that's a runner at first base. She's trying to move her over, and Anderson looking to do some damage herself. She delivers the pitch, and this is popped right up. And Peyton says, "Get out of my way, I got this." And Brian takes care of it and holds a runner at first base. That's 2 outs in the inning. One more out in the national title is Langford Lightning's, and Barkley steps up to the plate. Anderson, there's 2 strikes on Barkley, and Anderson, she is going to throw a Louisiana fastball because it's by you, and that is the game. I'll tell you what, there's a national champion, your Canadian champions, Langford Lightning, That is U17s last year, U19s this year. Unbelievable that this squad has done. Winning 2 titles in a row in 2 years, and 2 in the last one on your home turf. Well, that is just icing on the cake. You got to tip your cats to White Rock. I'll tell you what, they played a fantastic tournament. But your champions are the Langford Lightning. And we caught up with Chad Bryden, coach of the Lightning, for his thoughts on the game.
Well, our girls pile runs on. When they get going, man, they hit the ball. And all weekend long, the playoff-wise, their bats were going. They just were hitting just line drives after line drive after line drive. And it wasn't one of them. It was like all 9 of them. I remember at one point looking at the lineup saying to Coach Deolani, like, who can we switch out to put somebody else in? And looking at nobody. Like, they're all going right now. So it was a tough lineup to crack once it got set because they were all performing. But it wouldn't have mattered if it was those 9 or the other 3 that were on the bench. They all have produced for us in great ways.
U17 Canadian champions. You move up to U19 with the same group. You know, that's the story, but it's tough. You can't make that up. Like, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And for you guys to do that and to do it at your home park, tell me how that feels.
It feels great. We went to Canadians last year, and I've been to the men's Canadians quite a bit, but I had no idea what the girls, the young women's Canadians would be like. So that was the first experience for us, and yeah, we were lucky enough to win that. The girls played great and went undefeated the week, and we ended up beating Fusion 06, another BC team, in the final. And then this year too, like, we didn't really know what are the 04s like, because that's the age group that we moved into. So we don't know any of the 04s. So it was, it was just something you just got to work hard at it. And then having it at home was excellent. We didn't even know how that was going to go either, because the girls don't play at home very often. So was that going to get on their nerves, or was that going to be a good thing or a bad thing? And they just performed so well, and the park was full of people, and they just excelled when they were here.
It's honestly an amazing feeling, just all the work we always put in and the coaching. I've gone like extra time and whatever, just to feel like I'm going up in a good position to do what I want to do, and just it happened, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
But it was all props to those girls for being on. I couldn't have asked more. It's just like we built definitely a family. Like, I have like 12 sisters, and off the field as well, family, just whatever, and that's just amazing to do with them and be local, just all from one area. And we came from B, and now we've won twice in a row, which is amazing, and you could not ask for more.
Tell me about that. You're going to college, and how do you feel about that?
I feel good. I'm nervous, but I think it'll be good, and just have fun and see how it goes for the first year. I'm excited to play college ball.
It's great to have more than 2 pitchers during nationals, because that's how we had it most of the season. So I did pitch a lot, so coming in and having to lead the team that much was awesome, and it's a great feeling.
It felt awesome. Like, I gotta give credit, like, where credit's due. Our defense and our hitting makes our game so much better. Like, I couldn't have done it without Kalaya. Definitely today, I don't think we would be where we are at right now without her. So it's just great seeing that it's like a team win. It's great that there's not like a standout player. It's great that we're all collectively a team, and it's us. It's not one person.
I definitely think I'm in a little bit of shock. It'll set in probably in like an hour or so, but yeah, we're definitely a great team, and I love how much we've become as a family, and how much we travel together, and how much we just lean on each other, and it really shows.
Being able to travel everywhere with a bus just brings us closer and makes us more like a family. I think I see these girls more than I do see my own parents, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't think there's any other team that's going to be as fortunate as us. Like every day we are so beyond like blessed of what Chad has provided and Chad has done for us. Like, it's beyond like what you would expect any human to do. So it's kind of cool. It's set definitely high expectations for all of us girls, what we should like definitely for the future and how people should treat each other. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we are all definitely beyond grateful for what everything Chad has done, especially Chad, but all the coaches. They've put so much time and effort and money and everything into this, and I think it's great to finish it with a bang.
Okay, awesome. And lastly, playing in front of your home crowd, like, it was packed today. There was a lot of people today. How was that? How did it feel?
Honestly, it was great. Yeah. I thought it was a lot of support, and I never felt more support from the fans, because we never usually had fans because we take the bus. So being at home and having all the fans and everyone cheering us on was definitely great.
I definitely think they urged us to reach for better and do better, because as Clyde did say, the bus, I think we get Cam's parents and they're awesome, but now we have a whole fan club. It wasn't us just creating energy for our games and momentum, it was the fans creating it, and it was a great thing. I think it's also what pushed us to win another title.
Yeah.
And tell me about that community sport scene.
It makes me proud to see it. Even the way we ran this tournament, it was all volunteer people, and working 12 hours to I think maybe 16 hours a day doing it, and they just did an amazing job. I know my wife's been working on this thing for months and months and months, and my daughter too, Avery. Both Elizabeth and her have done a great job. But the community all stepped up, and yeah, the park was full. It was full of a lot of obviously fans, people that are from Langford or were part of the Langford Fastball years ago. Also, just a ton of old Victoria softball guys that played. There's so many people here that either played with Coach Rob Ginter, or I played with, or they still play now. It was just really fun. Yeah.
I know you just won, but how does that feel? It's part of that is it's the end of a really good journey.
Well, yeah, it's going to feel weird. I don't actually even know how it feels yet, to be honest. But it's not actually over for us. It's just going to change. So a lot of these girls go away to school, whether they're playing softball in school or just going to school. Their lives are changing here next week to 4 weeks from now, depending on where they're going. But they'll come back in May, and I'm pretty sure that when next May rolls around, we'll have a team together, and we're going to be making another run at it.
What a team, what a team, what a team. 2023 U19 Canadian Women's Fast Pitch Champions. The Langford Lightning have done your city proud and left your mark on softball communities all across Canada. Not only was this a win for the Langford Lightning, this was a win for the Langford Fastball organization that put on one heck of a show. This tournament was well run and well organized, with attention to detail that's unmatched. When you have 16 teams coming to your city, they're looked after and they left with smiles on their faces. The umpires were looked after in a way I've never seen before, which is kind of special because they do a fantastic job, and it sure showed from the live feeds to the programs to the updated schedule. Everything just worked really, really well and left fans up to date and informed and really part of the journey. The community support just grew during the week until into the weekend, and semifinals and finals were just unbelievable how many fans came out. Let's get out in the community and support events like this. My name is Cam Smith with U Sports Production. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the field.